Tonight on Debate Amongst Friends, Tony Romo, the decision part tres, NCAA men's and women's Final Four and championship game recap. The MVP race heats up as well as the playoff race. And as well, Doc and Prof welcome UK hip hop artists featured on episode 37 and 44, Ashley I, to join tonight's discussion and debate starting now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, this is Debates Among Friends, the 46th edition of the Sports Podcast on April 5th, 2017. I am your host, the Professor John Gotti, and always by my side, it is Dr. Trevor Ocean. How you doing tonight, sir?
Doing better than most, and better than good, I'll say.
I can definitely understand that, man. We have ourselves a packed show. I am ready to do some debating if you are, sir. So let's get to it.
Let's do it.
Tony flippin' Romo.
Tony Romo, this is true. He finally made his decision.
I mean, was it a good decision? Was it a bad decision? Or was it just a decision?
It definitely was just a decision because, I mean, honestly, it comes down to it. I mean, he's older. He really can't be turning down that money. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, the money.
It's always about the money.
I would say. I mean, come on. Let's be honest here. I mean, you know he replaced Phil Simms, bro. Phil Simms.
I know.
You know Phil Simms was getting paid, bro.
Of course he was.
So, to me, it's one of those things where you can't pass up that money.
Nope.
But I mean, my thing was, where does this leave the Houston Texans? You know,
and the Denver Broncos.
I mean, more the Houston Texans because they literally traded away their starting quarterback, bro.
Who wasn't all that good though.
But now, who's they're gonna play Tom Savage?
Yep.
That's what they're gonna play, Savage. Do you think Savage is better than Osweiler?
No, absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like you even though I don't know why they gave him that upset. I was gonna mix two words just now. It was an obscene amount of money, like an absurd amount. I was gonna say something ridiculous, but it was a lot of money for somebody who really didn't prove anything. But the fact that he could be a tall player, I mean, that's really all he was. Somebody that's a tall player. Maybe they felt he was the gunslinger, but he really fizzed out.
I mean, we're going to talk about tall players and, getting money that they don't deserve once we go into the NBA. But, I mean, out here in the DFW area, they're acting like this guy was some kind of martyr. They're talking about him being a Hall of Famer. And I had the chance to listen and watch some First Take today. And Stephen A. Smith, that piss ant that I always call out all the time, we actually agree on something. In no way, shape, or form do Tony Romo deserve to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I have to agree with you. I don't think he becomes a Hall of Famer. Listening to other podcasts, somebody brought up Rondé Barber. This is his first ballot here. And, as a Bucks fan, obviously I know Rondé Barber's line of work.
Absolutely.
Probably one of the corners with I think he's top 5 or he's one of the best sack corners that actually has ever done it. So to me, it's one of those situations where Tony won't get in there because he didn't win the big game.
Yeah. Well, and we keep talking about ups and downs, whether or not championships or even making it to the championship will acclimate yourself towards being a Hall of Famer or not. But he only had 2 playoff wins in his career.
Yeah, based on
I
And
mean, if
based on the
that's,
information,
I mean, if we look at it like that, then Tim Tebow's a Hall of Famer.
oh my goodness, I can't believe you just went there.
Tim Tebow is a Hall of Famer, first ballot. If Tony Romo, and I'm using my Stephen A. Smith, if Tony Romo could only win 2 games, then Tim Tebow's a Hall of Famer, first ballot.
I mean, I can't. I hate it. I hate the mayor of Wisconsin himself, Professor John Gotti, using Tim Tebow, who had a great playoff run, as a valuable excuse. That's like saying Mark Sanchez is a first
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, Mr. Butt Fumble himself, like,
Absolutely.
will he be a Hall of Famer? Absolutely. I respect everything that Tony Romo brought to the game. He definitely has the stats to prove it, but he's not a first ballot. Come on, guys. Have a little bit more realistic perspective in this. Like, just stop bugging.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, obviously he's had a great career. I know he is a leader somewhere, probably top 10, top 15 in passing yards, but he can never win the big game, and
He can never win the big game.
That's a big deal, bro.
I mean, granted, he has one of the best QBRs in December.
But they didn't really start talking about QBR, I feel like, until maybe 5 years ago. Like
Exactly,
QBR,
but
QBR
just
sounds like something
looking
somebody.
at it in the fourth quarter, though, yes, he's one of the best when it comes to the QBR, but that's about it.
I feel
Nothing
like
else
QBR was
really
something
like
that somebody
tickles
made
people's
up.
fancies.
Somebody made up QBR just for people like Tony Romo to feel better.
Wait, so the QBR is basically the participation trophy of the NFL?
It really is. I didn't hear about it until a couple years ago. Somebody said, "Hey, we need something for those mediocre quarterbacks to feel better about themselves. Hey, do something make me feel better."
Make me feel better. Oh my gosh! I can't believe you just went there. I'm so salty right now.
But yeah, I don't know about Tony being a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm glad Stephen A. didn't go against that.
Well, I mean, Stephen A's point was more he just shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame at all because, despite the regular season numbers, he really done nothing in the playoffs when it actually matters.
He'll probably get in because he was on America's quote-unquote team. Jerry will make sure he gets in.
I think that goes into the realm of the whole Russell Westbrook issue.
I mean, you'd have to elaborate on Russell Westbrook issue. He has several issues.
Everyone's just marveling at like what he did during the regular season so much that they're not really going to look at what he did for the playoffs or lack thereof.
Well, he did win a Super Bowl.
Tony Romo won a Super Bowl?
I thought we were talking about Russell Wilson. Wait, we said Russell Wilson or Westbrook?
I said Westbrook.
Okay, see, I heard Wilson.
No.
I heard. Okay, so let's take a look here. I mean, we're definitely gonna talk about Russell Westbrook. You know it. I mean,
of course we are. I mean, but this is more of a prelude towards us talking about, basketball itself. But just the fact that people are martyring Tony Romo, and I believe on Undisputed they actually talked about how disrespectful it is for CBS and Fox and all these other different places. Is trying to get him to join their broadcast team, but nothing's happening. Well, not as much as him joining the broadcast team, but like other players, it took them years to be able to get that broadcast opportunity. For him, they're knocking on his door immediately.
And, absolutely. But I think, the one thing about the Cowboys, I will say, is that they know how to build an offensive line. And to me, at least, being a former lineman, it's like if you have a good offensive line, then I feel like your quarterback, your running back, your receivers, the efficiency is usually a lot better.
That's my quarterback, man.
Exactly. Exactly. So to me, it's one of those situations where I don't think he should be given a pass because he did struggle even with those great receivers, the great running backs he's had, the great linemen he's had.
The great running backs, the only running back that we could say was great when he was still there was DeMarco Murray that one season.
DeMarco Murray had great seasons with Tony Romo. All his seasons were pretty good. They've always had a good
pretty good, but you can't say great. Like he only had one great season with Tony Romo.
That's because Tony Romo was out the other seasons. That's why he had great seasons with other backup quarterbacks. Tony Romo's been out. I mean, you can hit me with an "I'm sorry," of course, but I mean,
Which is ironic because Stephen A. Smith hit them with like 20 I'm sorries, and like all I could think of was the doctor is sitting there just laughing at his yacht somewhere in the Pacific Ocean.
absolutely. So I mean, I don't know if he would be a first ballot. Maybe not even a second. If T.O. and Randy Moss can't get in on it first, I don't see how Romo would be able to get on his first.
And I completely agree. But something
Um,
tells me that that's going to end up being the case.
no, definitely. I could see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. Um, you know, and my main thing is I want it to be fair. You know, like there are so many players out there that are first and second, maybe even third. I think somebody was talking about Jason, not Jason. Was it Jason Taylor?
I'm about to say, you about to say Jason Kidd. I'm like, what?
No, no, no. I believe it's Jason Taylor, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
um, and some other defense linemen that they're up, and it's like you skip past people like Randy,
Hmm.
and you give people like Tony, and it's like, but they didn't win it, and Randy didn't win it, but he's one of the best. T.O. didn't win it, but he's one of the best. Is Tony one of the best?
No.
I mean, that's really it.
I mean, no, because if he was one of the best, he would have at least made it to, an NFC Championship game, or he would have made it to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely, I completely agree. And hopefully the Hall of Fame team will
I
do
mean,
what's right.
in that retrospecting, then, Dante Culpepper should be in the Hall of Fame.
Wow, now you're just pushing it.
Like, but that's what I'm saying, though. Like, everyone wants to look at it so minutely, but then when we add other people to it, they get upset by it. It's like, well, now you're going to compare the two. Well, Dante Culpepper went to a Super Bowl.
Hey, but see, then we're going back to that old adage of
Well, we're not talking about rings, though. They're talking
right
about just stats.
playing. Stat wise, maybe not first ballot, maybe second or
Like I
third.
said, second or third, I'll be happy with it, but don't sit there and try to, explain to debates among friends that they should be, that he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. That's poopy, in retrospect.
No, definitely, I agree wholeheartedly. Let me see something here.
All right.
But the one thing I will say is that if Tony gets in, it will be a travesty because I don't think he deserves to be a first ballot of anything
Absolutely.
at all. Uh, and that's all I got to say about that.
Hey. And it looks like Chris is trying to get our guest tonight onto the call. Chris is working hard. Might need to check your settings for the call to make sure that anyone can join.
Working hard. Chris is always working hard. Always. Shout out to Chris, by the way.
Shout out to Chris. He's working hard these days.
Say. Let's see. Let's try, Chris. Yeah, Chris, that didn't work. That failed, Chris. I want you to know that. I want you to know that personally, Chris. That did not work. But as we continue to try to get our very guest on here, Ashley I, Uh, let's see here. We do have other topics, of course, to discuss.
Absolutely. We can go to the next one, talking about the men's college basketball Final Four and championship game. The Duke fans are not happy. The sourness is in the
That's not
air.
fair. That is not fair.
According to social media, the salt is in the air, it's in the ground, and they can taste it all around.
I'm not salty. I did speak to another Duke fan, a few Duke fans, and to me, yes, the North Carolina Tar Heels did win the game. And I was happy for the team and Coach Williams and everything, of course. Um, Obviously, I thought Gonzaga struggled mightily. I didn't know if I don't really know what was going on because when I looked at it, it looked really like Jackson was struggling.
hmm
All the bigs for Gonzaga couldn't make a shot.
I mean, do you
Um,
feel like that, because I know towards the end of the game, the refs, the basic theme of the entire tournament was the referees can't do their jobs very well. I mean, do you feel like at the end of the day, the refs played a major role towards the decision of this game?
no, I think this one was on the players. People were just struggling to hit shots on this one. I ain't gonna lie. I think that ultimately it was one of them situations where the previous games, absolutely, the previous games, the officiating was really suspect. I mean, but this particular game, especially the championship game, I felt like this was like blue chips, and Tony was shaving points. Okay, that's what it felt like. Did you shave points, Tony? I need the money, coach. Like that's what it felt like to me, at least.
I see what you
Um,
did there. I like what you
People
did there.
were. I mean, I'm just saying, bro. People were off, and it was like, what in the world? You know what I mean? The bigs, which I expected the bigs to come, hard on this particular situation. Um, it was so strange that it just didn't go down that way. Um, I don't know. I really don't know what to even call it, honestly. I know that it was a situation where people were getting foul trouble. I was so worried. I ain't gonna lie, Gonzaga, all of their bigs had 4 fouls. But looking over at the Final Four, I mean, if we go back, what Gonzaga did at the end of that game, strategy-wise, fouling to make sure that they couldn't get the shot, probably one of the
hmm
best strategic moves I had ever seen.
I mean, that's kind of what you're supposed to do, though.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I'm not even gonna lie, it was really, really good. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure. I think Chris, just keep trying, okay, Chris. We'll just keep trying to get Ashley I on the show. But
Chris
for
is losing his mind over here. It's actually kind of
I,
funny to watch and kind of sad at the same time.
no, I'm sure. Um, so I mean, ultimately, Gonzaga just couldn't get the job done
No,
in the
they
Final
couldn't.
Four, in the championship. But what did you think about Gonzaga's matchup? Really, in the Final Four, period. I mean, how did you feel they played throughout the
I
Final
mean,
Four?
just like I said, for them to be the most efficient offensive team heading into the tournament, they didn't show that to me. Like for me, it felt like they was just always struggling to execute, even on the most basic sets. And I feel like it finally caught back up to them. I mean, just granted, the championship game they just couldn't make a shot, but like it's been a recurring theme. They only had what 2 blowout victories in the tournament.
True, true.
Point differential wasn't even that high, not as high as it was on their BPI scouting report before the tournament started. Like, it caught up to them. You know, it goes back to the point of defense winning championships.
What did you think of? I mean, and they play great defense. I thought, what they did to South Carolina it was impeccable, man. They play great team. They had a lot of hustle, and it's a shame that the game ended the way it did. I felt South Carolina versus North Carolina would have been great, but I really would have enjoyed, of course, South Carolina or Gonzaga versus Oregon. Not because I'm a Dookie fan now, but more because it just would have been more interesting. To me at least.
Yeah.
To me at least. I mean, I'm just
Just to you?
I'm just
No one
yeah,
else?
I'm just a dude. I mean, maybe some other people might have been feeling it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be a couple of haters.
Couple of taters?
I'm just
I mean, just like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you gotta play better defense. You know, you can't just always rely on the jump shot. You can't always rely on your offense to get you out of, games. End of the day, when playoffs start, and we're gonna talk about NBA in a few minutes, but like once the playoffs starts, the game gets slower.
Yeah, I mean, don't talk about playoffs, bro.
Don't talk about playoffs.
But yeah, I mean, definitely. And the Oregon game, I just felt like North Carolina. I'm not gonna lie, and again, it's gonna sound like I'm a hater now, which I wish you would say it, but I have to
Couple
say
of
it.
taters.
But to me, it feels like they were kind of handed some of the situation. Some of it they were kind of handed the games, if
I
that
know
makes sense.
you have to elaborate on that one. Handed some of the games. I believe we're waiting for the doctor to come back into the call. I think we lost the doctor. So, just like I said, defense win championships, ladies and gentlemen. And I feel like that North Carolina was able to buckle down, and I mean, there wasn't really anyone that like wowed me, so to speak, when it comes to the game. I mean, they just did what they needed to do. They followed the game plan, and end of the day, they're hoisting up the national championship. Unlike last year when they lost on that buzzer beater against Villanova.
Uh,
Up, it sounds like Chris was successful in appropriating our guest for tonight.
Hello.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have AshleyI on the call.
Hey, what's going on, people? How you doing? You right?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Just waiting for the doctor to come back into the call.
Okay.
But as we got you here and wait for him to jump back in, I mean, let's get a little bit about you. People want to know who is AshleyI, who has been hitting the airways of Debates Among Friends.
So actually, I am a recording artist from the UK, from London, west side of London, over here, overseas, as you guys say, we're in America. But yeah, I've been doing like music since I was 12 years old for over 10 years now, and yeah, but just I'm an independent artist, so I literally do all the music myself. So I fund myself. My label's called Do It Yourself, so I do everything myself, from the marketing, promotion, to the recording, to the writing the music, to everything. So I'm trying to keep my career in my own hands, because I just believe the music industry isn't always for me regarding the major label. So I want to stay independent. So I started my label called Do It Yourself Entertainment when I was 19, and ever since then I've been building my label and building my career through social media on my own, and things are starting to slowly progress now.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned about just trying to do it yourself. I mean, is there any kind of influence when it comes to, just trying to have that entrepreneurial style in your approach towards business?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. For me, I've always been like that since a child. So, like from a young age, I've always wanted to own my label since I was like 15. I saw artists. I think when like G Unit came out, like 50 Cent came out, and I think I saw a lot like how he used to always talk about numbers and how he just grew his. He came from being this street guy to growing his empire, and I've always wanted to do that as a kid. So that was one of my inspirations. But even from a young age, I've always wanted to control my music. I always wanted to be the guy. Like I used to sell mixtapes on the streets. That's how I started out, and I used to like doing that. So
Okay.
I always liked selling my own music, and since as a child, that's one of my dreams, is to own my own label since I was 15 years old, and because I just believe, as I looked more into the music industry, I saw that the people that actually control the music and make the decision to make the actual money and call to action are the people that own the music. Most time the artists are just like the can of Pepsi that's there to be sold. I didn't want to be a can of Pepsi. I wanted to be the manufacturer of that Pepsi and be
Absolutely.
the can of Pepsi. So
I
yeah.
can definitely understand that. Absolutely. That's what's up. I know you mentioned some of your influence being G Unit and just that New York hustle, that Detroit hustle. Is there any other kind of influence that, at a young age, like you heard this person, you're like, oh goodness, this guy's flow is hot. The lyrics are spitting like fire. Like, I want to do this kind of thing. Like, is there anyone growing up that you really listened to that, like, instantly just brought your love into music?
Oh yeah, cool. So my first, it was definitely Tupac. We call him Tupac over here in the UK, but in America, so yeah, so it definitely was Tupac. I think when I first heard Tupac, that's when I said, yeah, I want to be a rapper, because he, like, his music was very real. And at the time, just there's something about that music that really reflected in me, because when I heard his music, I thought, look, I can be myself and rap. I haven't got to be this thing, I haven't got to be this street kind of person, because I'm not a street guy. So, what I mean? And I think when I was younger, hip hop was predominantly street music, and everyone was trying to be the street thing. But even though Tupac was pretty street himself, like he was this whole, he had a big street persona. But when I heard this, certain records he made just touched me, and I said, yeah, I want to do that. I want to touch people with my music, and I could be myself and talk about my life through my music. And when I heard Tupac, that's when I wanted to start doing it when I was really young. So yeah.
Excellent.
Outstanding. I am back. Doc is back. Chris is back on the show. My goodness. Actually, first and foremost, thank you so much for coming on. I definitely appreciate it. I know Prof definitely appreciates it. The one question I had, in this household in the great state of North Carolina, there is a plethora of different music played.
Yeah.
My wife listens to Korean hip hop.
Yeah.
I got the Professor John Gotti there listens to Japanese hip hop.
Yeah.
Well, just about any kind of hip hop, really.
Any kind of hip hop at this point. So I guess the one question I have is, what do you feel about the current trends of hip hop? I guess for me, we're seeing a lot of mumble rappers here in the United States.
Yeah.
Has any of that translated or transferred over into the UK just yet?
That's a good question. I think with the whole mumble rap thing, in the UK right now, it's a really good time for music, because over here we've kind of got our own music. It's called grime music, which is getting really big. I don't know if you heard Drake's new project, More Life.
Yep.
Yeah, well, he hasn't got grime music on there, but he's got a lot of UK rappers on there. Right now, mumble rap's mostly in America. It's mostly in America. Yeah, it's not really over here. We got
Uh,
grime music. Yeah, we don't want that over here, to be honest. But yeah, we mostly got our own music called grime music, and then we got our own UK rappers, which are starting to get really big. So there's a guy called Gig. He's on Drake's More Life project. He's on 2 records on that project. So no, mum rap hasn't really come over here yet. It's more grime music, which is a UK based music and hip hop. So yeah.
Outstanding. I know that Professor John Gotti got his questions in. As Chris was trying to get me on, I was listening on YouTube. But I guess the other question that I had was, and I'm not sure if the Professor John Gotti asked this. I know you said Tupac was a motivational factor, but what drives you now to make the music? Because I heard in one of your tracks I was listening to earlier, you were saying something along the lines of a lot of rappers talk about, war in the streets and selling drugs and the girls, and that's not something that you do. You want to talk about the pain in your life or just your life in general. Like, what made you separate yourself from that particular genre?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question, because from a young age, I like being true to myself, and I'm not that. I'm not a gangster. I'm not a guy who goes around and shoots people. Like, for me, what hip hop portrays from a young age, I always knew was a backwards mentality. So, for example, it's like, they promote these images of, predominantly black guys, who they, with holding up guns, and like, they promote this negative, like, this gangster life is the way to be. And I always knew that life leads 2 ways: in a grave or in a jail cell. So I didn't want to be in those 2 places quite yet at an early age. So, and that wasn't me. And to me, it's very negative. I'm more about trying to bring positive vibes through music. That's what I've always been about my whole life. And I think when I was coming up, people didn't really like my music because they thought, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? But because they want to hear that street, the hard stuff. Sorry, my language. They want to hear the hard stuff. But for me, music for me is all about expressing myself, talk about the highs and lows of life. And I think for me, music is an emotion, and it's also an experience. And what I try to do, I try and create an experience in my music and an emotion in my music, a feeling in my music. And I also want to use music to make people think and open their minds, because music's powerful. And I think today's music in the mainstream is really trying to dumb people down. And my music's the opposite. I'm trying to re-engineer that and make people think that, hold up, you can be something. If you just put your mind to something, you can do it. And I think I use my music as a vehicle to try and bring people together from all different cultures, all different backgrounds, because music is powerful. I know the power of music. What the music industry tries to sell me as music, I don't believe that. The reality they sold as music is just one thing. Well, for me, I don't believe it's that. For me, I think music's what you want it to be. And that's why I stayed away from a lot of that stuff in the mainstream and stuff like that.
I don't blame you. I definitely can appreciate that. And I guess that's kind of what we do here on the show, because we go with a different perspective from what media, which we call media baiting.
Yeah.
It's a lot of media baiting out there, and sometimes people get so caught up in it that, they forget about the true stories. Like, I'm sure in the UK you guys have heard what's going on with, let's say, somebody like Colin Kaepernick. Okay. And it's like, there's always, 3 sides to a story, even though some people think it's 2. There's always 3 sides. Yeah. I mean, what in UK do you guys feel about the, like, let's say it's something like a Colin Kaepernick situation?
Okay, regarding Colin, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I haven't heard about that Colin Kaepernick story.
Okay, so see now that's a good. I'm glad you said that. So here in America, I guess we don't really get the international news, and I know my wife mentions this all the time. We don't get the international news, but they always say that, like, overseas, like, you guys always get our news. Now, the one thing is that they're saying that Colin Kaepernick always makes our country look bad, but you're saying that you might not have ever even heard of the situation.
I've never even heard of the guy's name before in my life. I'll be honest with you.
Gotcha.
So explain to me. Like, this is good.
So. Basically, Colin Kaepernick has been, for the past football season, he's been kneeling during the national anthem because he believes that. Yeah, he believes that.
Is he the guy with the afro?
The guy with the
afro.
Sorry.
Nice.
I'll be honest. You can tell from England. We regarding American football, Yeah, actually, keep going because I'm gonna get talking about this. Keep going.
So
Sorry.
basically, it stemmed from police brutality and police killing African American males here in the United States,
Yeah.
and he felt like he wanted to use his platform to show that he wasn't going to stand for oppression. He was going to take a knee, and basically, it caused this uproar where now President-elect Donald Trump, as you well know,
Yeah.
has threatened him or threatened owners with a nasty tweet if they sign him to their team, as
Okay.
ridiculous as that sounds. But it's just so interesting that the perspective of us here is that, oh, some people are saying, oh, well, he's disrespecting the country
Yeah.
as well as making us look bad. But a lot of people might not even really know what's going on. They just see that, like you said, this guy with the afros not standing for the,
Sorry.
not saluting the flag, but it's just some certain things that we talk about here that do give us a different perspective, and that's just one of those things that we talk about pretty
Yeah.
often. So we do, of course, American football, NBA, WWE. I'm not sure if you're a wrestling fan.
By the way, before I came on the show, I made sure that I checked upon the WrestleMania. I'm a big me. I'm a massive wrestling fan. Like,
Okay, we were wondering too. We were
yeah,
wondering.
I'm a massive. If you go on my last mixtape, the one that's on Spotify right now, I've got a skit on there. It's called My House from 1993, 2003, and I basically play it's like my TV. So it starts with like football, like Real Madrid playing football. Then it goes into a Stone Cold Steve Austin skit. When it's from that skit when I think it was the Alliance back in 2001 when the Alliance needed Stone Cold when he came out. I think it's like 2001 when everyone was at Canes in the ring. Everyone was like a massive brawl in the ring.
Oh, the one where everybody kept doing their finishers.
Yeah. And then Stone Cold comes out right at the end and he does about 29 million stunners. Yeah.
So we definitely cover the WWE, and again, just to give a different perspective on the sports, like it's similar to how you give, with the hip hop, we don't like to fall into the regular trap of what the media provides us. We like to use our own minds, and I'm not
provide
sure if
our
you
own
saw
perspective on the subjects.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you saw WrestleMania, but
I actually did. I actually today on you because what I do, because I'll be honest, I'll talk to you. I used to be like in my household, wrestling was like this is like my nickname is the Big Boss Man. This is the truth. Like it's the real. Like this is like the name that my father knows me as Big Boss Man. When I was a child, I used to like be obsessed with wrestling to the age of like I say from like the day I was born. From to the age of about 15, I was like into it so heavy, but I started going in and out of it because like I feel like the product itself isn't as good as it once was. I think due to being PG has made it go. Obviously, it's not aimed at us no more. It's aimed at a more younger audience, which is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually did. I watch WrestleMania. I watch it on YouTube now. So on YouTube, I always like to find out what's going on through the network or on a channel on YouTube. And I actually watched the Goldberg. Since Goldberg came back, I've been starting to follow it again since Goldberg came back.
Can you tell Professor John Gotti how nostalgic that was?
Oh man, listen, Goldberg, man.
Oh no,
Goldberg was the man. Like Goldberg was the man. Like WCW times, like. For me, like being a kid in the 90s, growing up, 90s, early 2000s was the greatest time, I think, for being a kid for me anyway, because, so much variety. Like, for example, wrestling was the best ever. Like, I would come home, I'd have SmackDown to watch, Raw to watch, and I have Nitro to watch, and I have Thunder to watch. I have all different platforms to watch, and it was all great content. And Goldberg at that time, he was like this invincible guy, and just his presence. Like, for me, I love his entrance. Right. For me, it's amazing, But
I tell him he's old. I mean that's
yeah. That was a bit. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. He's more like he's never on like I see him now. He's still for a guy who's take in the mind. He's 50 years old. He's 50 years old and he's in great shape for a guy of that age. But because Goldberg's in the past, his presence was he was so big before. It's not the same to me because the way he looked before was so menacing. I think now he looks like I can't explain it. Like he's in great shape, but. To me, it's not the same Goldberg. I don't know if you get what I mean. It's like for me, he's still for a guy his age, he looks amazing.
Absolutely.
But I just think the presence, like when he comes out now, it's like you can tell he's just there for a paycheck.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know. For me personally, I'm very critical with WWE now because I'm like I've learned a lot from wrestling about how just from the way they provide entertainment, and I just think like Vince McMahon's in a very very tough time right now because I feel like he has to keep everyone interested in wrestling. He has to keep bringing back old stars. All right.
Right.
He's brought back Goldberg. He's brought back the Hardy Boys now. He's brought back Brock Lesnar. He brought back Sting. To get people interested in it, right? But what Vince did to win the Monday Night Wars is that he created new stars.
Right.
When WCW was using Hogan and the old stars of the past, Vince made new stars. I think now I don't know because he ain't got no competition no more, but now I feel like he hasn't made any new stars. Like Roman Reigns guy. I think they're trying to push him. But I don't think that you guys know more than me, right? I don't think they're pushing him with the right character. I think Roman Reigns should be a heel. I think he should be a dark heel. I don't think he should be a babyface. I think he should be a heel. He has the look, but that whole
no, not the look.
That really
we always hear that. People always say that. Now, we're just trying to figure out: is it the hair, the tattoo, the muscles? Like we never understand it because so many people just love him for who he is, and I'm like. Right
but he
now,
has the same look on his face, though.
Yeah, like he kind of can't wrestle. He does this thing with his hand. I mean, it's okay. He still comes out to the Shield theme song. I mean, he stole the Rough Riders, logo and put it on his chest. It's kind of weird, So, I mean, he's okay. I don't know if I would push him, unless they're going to have to write him off for a little bit. Personally, I think they're going to have to write him off and maybe hit him with one of those fake injuries. He takes 6 months off. Then he comes back and turns on somebody, a super baby face, like John Cena. Maybe he turns on John Cena or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to work, but...
Like, that should have been done 2 years ago, though. That's why we sit there and hashtag anyone but you, Roman.
Anyone but you. And they are pushing it. But that's definitely something we talk about. Speaking of Goldberg, though, I will tell you that I was reading earlier that he is coming to the UK in June, I believe it is. He's going on tour. I'm just going to put air quotes here, tour. I don't know what type of matches they're going to put him in, but he's coming.
You can guarantee the match is going to be less than 2 minutes.
Yeah,
yes.
Like even the match. I watched the match at WrestleMania. I don't know if it was me because I'm older now, but it looked like it was so like you could tell. I knew for a fact Brock was gonna win.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
And even when Goldberg, I don't know, can Goldberg still wrestle because every match has been like 2 seconds, and even the one against Brock Lesnar, which was like 12 minutes, I even counted it. It was like, I don't know, it just felt like. He can't wrestle how he used to wrestle. I don't know. Maybe you guys know more than me. I'm just a spectator watching on YouTube. But
I
don't know, man.
We're all spectators trying to figure out what Vince McMahon is doing. Yeah. But speaking also of spectating, we also had some NCAA tournaments going on. Do you guys follow any of the college basketball teams here?
I'll be honest. Over here in the UK, like the biggest sport, because this is the great thing about America and the UK. Like when it comes to sports, like it's a cultural thing. So over in the States, I see like basketball is massive. It's really big. American football is really big. Over here, it's like you guys call it soccer. We call it football. So we call it football, soccer. Yeah. So over here, soccer is the thing. It's the main sport that everyone follows. And boxing. We like boxing.
I love boxing. Oh, yeah. Goodness. What do you think about this possibility of Conor and Floyd?
Oh, great question, man. Me personally, that's great question. I love this podcast, man. I love it. I'm loving this right now. I'm loving it. But seriously, yeah, I just think I'm not. For me, it's about money, isn't it? It's about the dough.
It is.
It's like it's just a great way for Floyd to sail out in the sunset and retire. Get a quick 200 million and he's out.
I can agree with that. Now, another thing that we do talk about here, and of course we're going to get to the NBA MVP race and playoff race soon, people that are listening, and of course the people who are going to listen tomorrow on the replay. We talk about video games, including esports. Do you dabble in any video games? And if so, what is your platform?
Oh, great. Okay, so video games, what I play like FIFA. Do you guys have a FIFA? America?
I do. I have played. I think I am. Right now I have EA access, so I'm waiting for FIFA 17 to be free. Okay. I don't buy FIFA or the hockey. I wait for it to be free. I did wait for Madden to be free too. Okay. So I just wait for them to come free, and then I play them for a little bit. Okay. I've always been a big fan of franchises, so the idea of owning a soccer club seemed to be pretty interesting idea. So
That'd be great.
I did play FIFA 16, I believe,
Okay, great. Yeah.
and I did enjoy it too. I've never played anybody one on one because I really just kind of don't know the rules, so to speak. I just try to make the goals. I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. I
That-
don't know. I don't know the positions. I don't know anything. I just literally
listen,
kick, pass, and then try to shoot. That's
that-
it.
that's not me with like American football. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, guys. Like, I don't get it. Like, when the Super Bowl comes, like, it's a Super Bowl. It was like even over here in the UK, it's big over here in the UK too. People watch it over here in England. Like, it's on TV everywhere. Like, when it comes on, it's everywhere. But I just don't understand like how it works. Like I don't understand. I'll be honest. For me, I try and watch it. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, what's happening?
Well, I mean, it's really the same. I think the premise is the same. I mean, guys are trying to score a goal,
Okay.
um, but ultimately, it's the use of the hands, and it's almost like the American football kind of took the idea of soccer and the idea of rugby and
Yeah.
kind of put it together,
Okay.
and then kind of, you know, made all kinds of rules to make it more civilized, kind of,
Yes.
and more handsy and touchy, basically.
This is great. This shows you look about culture. Like, this is what I love about like sports and like and music, and it just shows
Right.
you like different, different cultures are into different things. It's like but we share we share the same values. And we both love music. We both love music. Like, I'm from the UK, all over in London. I make music, and you guys all the way in North Carolina, right?
I'm in North Carolina. He is in Texas.
You're in Texas. Hey, I got family in Texas. I got family in Texas as well, in Dallas, Texas. Yeah. So he's in the South. So my music can travel that far. For me, this is amazing to be even speaking to you guys right now. Like, this is like amazing. This is like, wow. This is like inspired me to keep doing my music. But back to what I was saying is like, it just shows you about culture. It's like, it doesn't matter. Like, it just shows you that where you're born shapes your kind of reality. It's like you don't know nothing about that much about soccer. I don't know a lot about American football. But we both love music. We both into boxing. So it's just crazy. Both of the computer games. Like, it shows you like the world is like, it's your oyster, man. It's your oyster.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Absolutely. So one of the last topics that we do have to discuss here is this NBA MVP and playoff race. Obviously, playoff time for all sports
Yeah.
is always a big deal.
Yeah.
But we have about 4 people currently in the MVP race for the NBA. You have Russell Westbrook,
Okay.
James Harden,
I
LeBron.
know James Harden, the guy with the beard, right?
Yep.
Dang right, the guy with the beard.
Oh, and the doctor is a huge Houston Rockets fan, so
I'm a Rockets fan, so
so
guy with
he'll
the beard.
he'll appreciate you endorsing James Harden as much as possible.
Absolutely. LeBron James, of course.
Everyone knows him. Everyone knows.
Isaiah Thomas, probably not necessarily a known player everywhere, but he's pretty good here in America. And then, of course, there's Kawhi Leonard, the defensive juggernaut for the San Antonio Spurs. Now, the main argument right now is Russell Westbrook and James Harden are neck and neck. I think the Thunder are kind of padding Westbrook's stats. I don't even want to say kind of. I mean,
They are.
they
Just say
are.
Just say the truth.
So, they are. I hate it. Because, I know the Rockets are playing right now, but my thing is, you can't say, hey, he's getting all these triple doubles, and it's like, or he's getting all these stats, I should say, and the team's just like moving out of the way and letting him do his own thing and say, hey, he's a great player. He's doing it this year. That's kind of unfair. That's like in soccer, like if everybody made a wall and just started pushing people out of the way and pushed the goalie out the way so that one person could kick a goal. Like it's kind of ridiculous.
No, it definitely is, man. It definitely is. So, like, remember, like, because basketball is big over here. It's kind of big over here. We're more familiar, like, with basketball over here. Like, who is the guy right now? Like, who is the number one guy in the NBA right now? I'm talking from who's getting the most rings. I think guys call it rings, all right? The guy who's getting the most points. He got the most endorsement deals. Who is the hottest guy in basketball right now?
That'd be
I mean, are
LeBron
we
James.
talking? Yeah, I mean, are we talking theoretically, or are we talking how it should be? I
Okay,
mean,
we're
okay.
talking.
I mean, it would be LeBron. It would
Okay,
be LeBron.
okay, so LeBron, Okay, who's better, LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan.
Ooh, Jordan. Yeah,
Why?
I'm gonna go with Jordan.
Okay,
Uh,
why Jordan?
LeBron. I would say LeBron developed pretty late, and this style of basketball
Yeah.
where there seems to be, I would say, more people who cry. Would you say there are more criers? They're crying out there. There's no crying.
There's no crying in
No,
basketball. Nope.
there's no crying in basketball, but there's more complaining. I think the referees are definitely different. They're more
Personable with their
strict.
players.
Yeah, like in the 80s and the 90s, basketball was tough. Like football was tough.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
soccer, tough. Everything was tough. But now the rules of the game has changed so much that somebody like LeBron, who's 6'8", 250, 260 pounds,
Yeah.
I mean, he's extremely fast. He's strong. He's got a C plus jumper. I'm gonna give him a C plus jumper.
Okay, see,
Yeah, this jumper's not that great, except for
D
that one
minus.
game that. Yeah. Oh. I mean, I'm gonna give him a C plus. I'm gonna try because he has a little jumper, a little fadeaway every once in a while. But I mean, he dominates this league right now. But when you look at what James Harden and Russell Westbrook are doing, it's clear to see that the King's time is almost up because his numbers are starting to decline.
okay,
The fatigue is starting to set in,
okay.
and these younger guys, even some of the younger guys who haven't bloomed yet,
Yeah, yeah,
they're coming. You could tell,
yeah.
So once LeBron retires, you're going to see an explosion of teams and the decline of any team that LeBron left,
Yep.
such as the Cavs.
Okay. Because like LeBron James, I've been hearing his name since he first came out over here. He's been big over here for since like 2003. So I think it's when he started. I don't know when he started 2003 when he was like 18. Because I'm reading a book. It's a book I'm reading. It's called The Talent of America by Steve Stout. It's a great book. I'm reading it, and it actually explains how LeBron James got his endorsement deal with Reebok.
Mm-hmm.
So it explains like originally Nike and Nike. Sorry, he got his deal with Nike. Sorry. So originally Reebok wanted to sign LeBron James to an endorsement deal when he came out of college at 18. But he turned them down to do a deal with Nike. So Nike offered him some crazy amount of money. So Reebok response to losing LeBron to Nike is that they made this new campaign by getting rappers like Jay. They gave rappers their own shoe. So they gave Jay-Z his own line, the S Carter shoe. They gave obviously 50 and the Unit sneaker, and they use hip hop and as a way to combat to compete with Nike just because they lost LeBron. So that's how big LeBron James was. All the biggest brands were trying to compete with this 18-year-old kid so they can wear their product because they knew this guy was going to sell a massive amount of product. So yeah.
I think Nike also gave LeBron, and a lot of companies now are giving the players more creative control over their shoe because that's the only reason somebody like James Harden, and a few people chose Adidas, as well as Stephen Curry chose Under Armour. Because of the creative control. I think Stephen Curry wanted to go to Nike or Reebok, but
I think it was Reebok actually. Yeah, it was Reebok, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah, and he wanted to put something about, was it God or faith, on the shoe, and they said no. So he went with Under Armour because they allowed him to put his own, creative control. But the last thing here, I mean, we're all about numbers and stats and standings. Right now the Cavs and the Celtics are playing each other really for first place in the Eastern Conference. They're both 50 and 27, the first and second seed respectively. If the playoffs did start today, it looks like somehow they have the Cavs in number 1 and they would go up against the Pacers. Professor, do you see the Cavs staying at number 1, or do they drop to number 2? I mean, right now they're playing the Celtics. I think it's pretty close.
How many games are left in the season? How many games are left?
I want to say, let's see, it's 82 games. Let's see, 50, 27. That's 77. So what, about 5 or 6
About
games
5 more
left?
games,
Wow.
like 2 more weeks left of
Hmm.
NBA.
Wow.
And they'll probably start resting players, which is another big thing here right now in America. Like their teams up the upper echelon are resting players.
Okay.
So they could lose. I think Tristan Thompson might be hurt on the Cavs, so that's also something that
Yep.
could hurt them,
Okay.
which I think will really hurt them as the playoffs carry on. Um, but another thing that I do see here, not to skip past the Cavs, but the Bulls snuck back in the playoff race.
Chicago Bulls. Wow. Wow, I didn't know
Yeah,
this.
And
I
and
hadn't heard
that's
about them in
despite
years.
that's despite the
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade injury that just recently happened.
yeah, because they weren't in. The Heat were in before, but it looks like if the playoffs started today, the Bulls would be in, bro.
Chicago Bulls, man.
And they would be playing the Celtics, unfortunately.
It would probably
Jimmy.
be a 5-game series.
Yeah, I mean, unless the Cavs say, "Hey, we don't want to play the Pacers. Let's sit everybody. Let's bring back Mike Miller and some other bums, and let's just blow these last 5 games just so we can play the Bulls."
Which, I mean, I still feel like that they might be doing that currently right now, which is why they're in that air quotes slump. Because, I mean, the Cavaliers by themselves, they really haven't lost a lot. I mean, granted, they did get, as you call him, Princess Peach, but they only had him for about a minute 50-something seconds, which is about the average of a Goldberg match these days. But, I mean, once again, as soon as the playoffs start, they're going to shift gears, and, you know, it's going to turn into last year's playoffs. Like, they might lose tops 3 games.
I don't see it happening.
I can see it happening.
I don't see it. I think if they struggle, if Tristan Thompson's not there, if he doesn't play in this playoffs, they go game 6, game 7 at least 2 times in these playoffs.
I mean, think
And they
about it
might
like
even
this.
lose.
The biggest threat to the Cavaliers isn't the team, isn't Isaiah Thomas, who could be the number 1 or number 2 seed. It's one player, and his name is Kelly Olynyk.
Oh my goodness.
Because last
Oh my God. There's a troll master, I know.
because
Oh,
he is
God.
known for dislocating shoulders and taking
Oh my
guys
God.
out of the game.
Oh God, that's terrible. That's so terrible.
But yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
Oh my God, I can't believe you went there.
I did.
But I think the one game series that we're really, really big on, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think it's going to be one of the best. The Wizards and the Bucks.
It will be. It
I
will be.
think
It's
it's gonna
about
be
time
the
to
best.
see the Bucks make it to the playoffs, and you know who knows, they might end up being in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like they have the talent.
They do.
You know, they started to get some more shooters now. I mean, the Greek Freak is exactly what the moniker is. He is
Yeah,
insane.
he's something else.
Yes.
Yeah, that's something else, and that's a name to listen out for. Giannis.
Go ahead. Go for it. The people want to hear it.
Tecumpo.
Oh
Antetokounmpo.
my gosh.
Antetokounmpo.
Tonight's episode of Debates Among Friends is brought to you by not your mom's iced tea from Small Town Brew. Make sure you pick it up at your local grocery store.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo.
Oh,
Greek
gosh.
freak.
Okay, there you go. Just say Giannis. His name is so iconic that it only needs the first name. It's like soccer.
Yeah, there you go. Now in the West, of course, it's always more competitive, which is why I think the East usually gets an easy pass in the finals because we're always so tired in the West. Of course, you have the Warriors and the Spurs still battling for number 1 supremacy. I think the one thing that's interesting is to see the return of 60-win teams.
Yep.
With the Warriors winning 64, only losing 14 games. That's pretty amazing, bro.
And that's with, you know, Kevin Durant's injury and him, you know, starting to come back now.
Right, because they was on an 8-game or some game losing streak, and then all of a sudden they were on an 8-game winning streak. And, I mean, it was pretty amazing. And even with the Spurs winning 60 games with the injuries that they've had.
Yep. With Paul Gasol and whatnot. I mean,
right.
and think about it like this, though.
It's all, and they all went out, actually, all of them. And I think
I mean,
Ginobili got hurt yesterday.
Well, Ginobili's always hurt. That besides the point. But I mean, think about it like this though: the Spurs have the best record on the road this year.
I mean, not by much. They're
But they
29.
still do.
They're 29-9. The Warriors are 30-10. I mean, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
I mean, all I'm trying to say is, look at it.
Close.
As
It's
far
all
as momentum,
close.
like, both teams can win on the road. I'm talking about getting up to the Western Conference Finals. I'm not talking about, oh, they're just going to steamroll through it because they're going to win 4 on the road. That's not what I'm talking about.
Gotcha. I mean, in that regard, I mean, the top 5 teams all have winning records on the road. Obviously, you can tell it's the hierarchy of the actual standing. So the Warriors 30-10, Spurs 29-9. So winning on the road seems to be one of the keys to success in the NBA.
Yes.
And the 5 teams all have 20 wins. The bottom all are under 20. If the playoffs started today, the Warriors would be with the Trailblazers. The Spurs against the Grizzlies, and the Rockets, of course, would be matched up against the Thunder, of course.
I
Which
think
I think
I think if
them
that
so
happens, that would be a great 7-game series.
I don't think it's going to go 7. Only reason I say that is because I think we've got their ticket, as Wesley Snipes said in, I forget that boxing movie now, but he said sometimes a team comes around, or in his situation, a boxer comes around and they got your ticket.
Yep.
But in this situation, I think we would probably beat them because they're going to try to let Russell get all these rebounds still. And then the Jazz will play the Clippers, but like I said, if the Clippers lose to the Jazz,
no.
if they lose to the Jazz, I really think that, come on, Doc, I know
He's
you
not going
said,
anywhere. He's not going anywhere for
I,
one more year. I'm telling you.
I don't know, bro.
Because if that was
I
the
don't
case,
know.
then that would have happened after they blew that lead
That was
against
a
your
rough one,
Houston
though.
Rockets.
That was a rough one.
And that's with them doing the Hacker Howard method.
Oh my goodness, that's a rough one, bro. I don't
No,
know.
I mean,
I
either
don't
you
know.
win the series or you don't win the series.
And this is a tough one also because when you look at it, the Jazz is pretty good. I hate
The
the
Jazz
fact
are
that
very good.
after this year they're not going to be good because they're about to lose their star player. But
Who might end up going to Boston and playing with Isaiah Thomas.
right. But I mean, I'm interested to see. Obviously, like I said, we got 5 games left, so we'll definitely see what happens. Obviously, I don't think too much is going to change over the next couple of weeks.
No.
We're going to see those matchups in the playoffs. And actually, this is just what we do. We just go over specific numbers, and the standings. Playoffs is coming, and we're going to be all over it.
That's good, man. You guys are doing a great job. Very good job. Very, very
Hey,
good job.
definitely appreciate it. Right now, we're still in growth mode, so we're just trying to get our name out there as much as possible.
Same.
Uh,
Same here.
so we'll definitely be cross promoting some more in the future.
Yeah, 100%. Like I'm the same boat. I'm trying to get my name out too. I've been doing it for years, and it does. When you like, it does happen. It starts to happen. Like even for me right now, I feel like it's starting to like happen for me now. Like I'm not where I want to be, but you're never going to be where you want to be unless you try. But it does happen. I think what you guys are like how many episodes? Like 48, 49?
46.
Well, I guess this technically would be 47 if you include Monday's WrestleMania review.
See, that's 47.
Oh, it is
You
47.
guys-
You're right.
Yeah,
Technically.
So you guys have already started it. You're there. Like you're doing the work. It just comes down to how great the content is and how hard you work and the strategy behind it. That's what I've realized. That's what I've been doing. I've just been doing that on my own, and you start to get somewhere. Like today, for example, like I'm gonna put this everywhere. I'm gonna promote this on my platforms, right? So people are gonna listen to this, and so a lot of people that know me are gonna. A lot of people on my Facebook like basketball. They love
Right.
it. You know what I mean? So they might tune into you guys after this. So just keep doing it, man. You guys are great. You're gonna get somewhere. Just keep doing it.
Definitely
Appreciate it, man.
Definitely
That's-
appreciate it.
that's true, yeah.
So our final thoughts, Professor, anything you want to share with the great people in the Twitter sphere and the
Yeah.
Facebook sphere and all the
Uh,
spheres?
I've got a question. I've got 2 questions. How did you guys discover my music? And 2, what made you guys like my music? Because I'm from the UK, When someone from America likes my music, it kind of intrigues me. 'Cause I think like we're from way different cultural background, but how can my music is culturally connecting with people from America, and that just intrigues me.
Well, for me, I don't. I think for me, I always listen for a certain sound. I can't describe it. When I hear it, I I'll give you a little backstory, and John Gotti knows where I'm going with this. So a couple of weeks ago, there was another artist, I believe from the UK, named Fink. Uh, I was on SoundCloud, I'm listening to music, trying to find a song for the show, and I'm like, I heard this song. It was a soulful song, and I said, "Oh my God, I have to have this on the show. I need to share this." And that's kind of what we do. So for me, I heard about you from, John Gotti here,
Okay.
because he always opens my perspective to different hip hop because I've never really listened to different stuff. Usually, I don't listen to anything but stuff from the '90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
I don't listen to anything now
Yeah.
unless somebody shares it with me.
Yeah.
And he shared it with me along with about 30 to 40 other artists, that we have listened to over the course of us doing the show, which we're about to hit a year now.
Yeah.
We came up with the idea of listening to artists or portraying artists or pushing artists at the end of our show. And he's really opened my eyes to different music. And to me, it's the lyricist in you, because I am a poet in my past life. So somebody who does, has great lyrics, great instrumental beats, and puts a positive message. That's what got me interested in saying, hey, this guy's got something.
Yeah.
Now, John Gotti might be something completely different.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, just like Doc Ocean said, I, growing up, I've never been someone who just listens to mainstream music.
Okay.
I don't like to do it. For me, my quote of life is, why be normal? Being weird is so much more fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
So one of the channels on YouTube that we used to do when we used to do our pre-show is Chill Hop Music. And I stumbled upon one of your tracks that was playing live, and I was like, "Oh, this guy, it sounds pretty good. The beat's pretty good." And one of the things I do is I really listen to the lyrics. So,
Right.
which is why I can't get into mumble rap because I feel like I'm killing myself
Yeah.
slowly every single
Slowly.
time I
Yeah.
listen to it.
Yeah.
But one of the things about me is I'm analytical in nature. I don't know if you could tell that from my analysis of the different sports that we talked about tonight. But I'm also analyzing, what's being said in the songs. What theme, what kind of message you're trying to say, what is your audience that you're trying to attend to towards that. And I started to, go more towards the underground hip hop scene because a lot of the different artists, yourself included, would just have powerful messages behind, powerful hooks and just the flow is just, symbiotic to the things that I want to do in life. So when I gotten a chance to present one of your tracks, actually the same one we're going to be playing tonight for those out there that's listening, and of course those that's also listening on to the prior episodes, and once this one become archived and on SoundCloud on iTunes, it instantly caught me. I'm like, Doctor, I mean, we need to play this track.
We gotta play it.
We have to play this track. Like, listen to the track. Listen to the track.
Wow.
Right.
And you'll thank me afterwards.
Oh, God bless, man. Thank you. Seriously, that's. I'm telling you now, man. Just hearing you guys tell me this, it gives me the inspiration to keep going because you never know. Like, every day you have this idea in your head. You want to do music, and as you get older, people around you start seeing how people really look at you. You think, oh, this ain't gonna work out. But we're hearing you guys tell me that just now, from where you guys are right now, just showing me that thought I had in my head since I was a child is worth doing because my music is culturally connected with people in around the world, And for me, that's why I do it, And for you guys to tell me that, it's gave me the inspiration to keep doing it. It's thank you. God bless you both. God bless you both.
Yeah, man, no
Absolutely,
doubt.
you
We're,
do
we're
say, I
definitely looking
appreciate
forward
you.
to playing more tracks of yours in, the upcoming weeks and months and, potentially years if we can, just keep this flow going because
Yeah.
for us, this isn't work for us. Like, we love doing this.
Right, it's just
Like,
fun, you know.
like
If we were to get paid for it, sure, that'd be great. I mean,
Small Town
it is
Brewery,
pretty
Stella
fun.
Artois.
Yeah, small town beauty. Yeah, all those people that we, even LeBron. I feel like we talk about LeBron a lot. He needs to pay us. But we do love it though, and I was gonna say actually, if you know any other artists, because I do know that you perform with artists on several occasions that are interested in having their music played on our show, or even want to be guests on the show. We would love to continue this UK experience because, like I said, if the music is more pure there, and that's what we're looking for, then that's what we want to play.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I mean, I'm just telling you that Fink song was so good. I can't even get it out of my mind. I don't even. But
And he would have never
no,
known it without just taking
yeah,
that
like
chance and
opening
just
my
going out there.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely. So I definitely appreciate the question, though. Absolutely. And I see here, Professor, you have any other final thoughts for the people out there listening?
I mean, I always have final thoughts, but today, because we got AshleyI on and the people are screaming in my ears and telling me to give them a read, I'm going to give them a read. The Cavaliers will not make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Wow. Wow, I don't even know how to. I can't even read
Because
that.
LeBron James is going to pull a Derrick Rose and break his leg.
Wow. Oh, wow. I can't believe you just said that. Here I was going to just go with our story from a couple of weeks ago, Purdue star Swanigan declaring for the draft, and
There you
you had
go.
a read of LeBron not only not making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but also potentially having a career-ending injury.
That's not nice. That's not nice. That's not nice.
But this is what we do. We have to create cash
do.
while being controversial.
Is what we do. But, I mean, that is what we have here for the show.
Okay.
That is it. I do know we have a track playing tonight.
Yep.
Sir, if you would do the honors of introducing your own track. We've never done this before.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Dang, this is
Also, if
crazy
you
for
want
me.
to as well too, you could talk about any upcoming projects you have going along. Let the people know how they can reach you.
Yeah. So yeah, great. So so I'm right now. I'm working on my debut album.
Okay.
Crazy to say that. So yeah, it was gonna be an EP, but it's gonna be an album now. So it's called Bedroom Bars Season 1. I'm working on that. It's gonna be released towards the end of the year. So around I'll say, I don't say a date, but I'll say around October, November time. That's when I can put it out. December, around that time there. And yeah, you can find me on all social medias. On Instagram, it's AshleyI Music. On Twitter, AshleyI Music. On Facebook, it's AshleyI DIY. You can find me on there, and yeah, you can find me on YouTube. Just put AshleyI into YouTube, and all my videos will come up. I'm releasing content every day on my social network, so yeah, I'm active, and yeah, you can find me there. And I'm just trying to innovate in music. My goal is to innovate in music. I don't want to be, the next this, or you sound like this guy. I want to be the first of my own kind. I want to innovate. I want to change the way people experience music forever before I die. So that's my goal.
Absolutely, definitely appreciate it. And tonight's track, I know we have a good one. You go ahead and introduce this track, and we'll go ahead and shut it down.
So this track is off my actual album. It's called I Don't Want to Be Famous. It's produced by OHD, sorry. They're great producers. So yeah, the track's called I Don't Want to Be Famous, and basically it's just about me saying why I do music. I don't do music for fame. I do music because it's a way of expressing myself. And like I said, I want to innovate. I want to be remembered. People talk about like people like Steve Jobs and how they changed the. I want to be a guy like I'm not saying like that. I want to be a guy to remember for bringing the best musical experience. So I don't do it for the fame. I don't want to be famous. I don't like all eyes on me. Even though I don't mind when I'm performing, but I'm a very private person. So I don't do music for the fame. I do music because I want to be remembered as one of the best music artists you've ever heard in your life. And I do it for legacy. And that's what I'm in it for, not for fame. So that's the track's about that, and at the same time, I want to I just want to do something amazing with music, and that's my goal, And I don't like being famous. I'll be honest. I don't want to be famous, but it comes with what I do. But just this track basically explains that, and I'm talking too much now, so I'll shut up.
No,
No. It's okay. This is the perfect platform.
Right.
This is
that was perfect.
yes. Like you have no idea how many cheap plugs we put out there, so it's perfectly fine.
Nah, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. So we'll go ahead and leave it at that. I know if I'm ever in the UK, John Gotti, ever in the UK, we're gonna look you up.
Hey, we'll go out, man. If we go out, I'll take you around. Show what's going down here. You guys will like it over here. UK is a good place, man. It's nice. It's nice over here. You guys will love it.
Definitely will. I know my wife likes to travel, and my wife loves music. Just finished her audio and video engineering certificate. So if she would love to talk music probably one day, but that's a whole nother story.
Yes.
But let's get on out of here. John Gotti, shut us down, sir.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us tonight. We also want to give a big thank you to AshleyI for joining the debate desk, and hopefully, he doesn't just run away and never want to speak to us again afterwards.
Remember that, man. I'm here, man. I'm always here.
But we'll catch you again next week. Same debate time, same debate channel. I am the Professor John Gotti.
I'm Doc Ocean. Dr. Wednesday Night as well.
And we'll catch you again soon, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Deuces.
When we finally got down to something which the individual says he really wants to do, I will say to him, you do that. And forget the money. Because if you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living, that is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
Hey, come on, yeah. I don't want a two-step with me, come on. Two-step with me, come on. Do it yourself. Actually, 1, 2, 3, talk to me. Man, I come to this game, man, to change your brain. Man, I come to the game, man, to change the game. On the road to riches, trying to make some change. On the road to riches, never change for fame. I want a normal life, I want a normal life. I want a normal girl, I want a normal wife. I don't care about the bling or the flashy life, because money ain't a thing if you ain't rapping right. Hey, every day, man, I hear the same songs. You ever heard the same song when I turn on the radio? And these days, man, I swear now, bad man, I turn off the shit cause I don't feel the radio.
What do you guys do to give back to the community? Also directed mostly towards ODB. I know Praz and the Fugees do things for the community, but what is going to be your theme for the community?
So I really gotta let you know, trying to get it with my flow, I ain't trying to be famous. So I really gotta let you know, trying to get it on the low, I ain't trying to be brainless. So I really gotta let you know, I'm never something slow, I ain't trying to be shameless. So I really gotta let you know, but I told you all before, I ain't trying to be famous. Hey, now do the rock away, now come on, now do the rock away, now come on, and lean back, come on, lean back, come on, lean back, come on, now lean back, now come on, and all my people this dance, and give me a chance to come on, and do the rock away, now come on, and lean back, lean back, lean back, and lean back, now come on, and if you're feeling on my rhyme, then you're feeling my vibe, now come on, and do the rock away, and everybody lean back, lean back, lean back, and lean back, now come on, and all my sisters this dance, and give me a chance to come on, and do the rock away, now come on, and lean back, hey, lean back, hey, lean back, hey, and lean back, and everybody just chill.
It's so important to consider this question. What do I desire?